story, like Maggie is revolving in the full story of this lesson. Clear? And Minor's character are those characters who do not have a central role in the story and fade into the background. Okay, they don't have minor characters don't have the central role in that story, but they have a small role in that particular story, and after that they are just in the background. When we talk about the major characters, we have three major characters here. First of all, Maggie, then Joe Thompson, and then Jane Thompson, who is a couple, husband and wife, childless couple. So about Maggie, T.S. Arthur has described the central character of Maggie indirectly. Okay, indirectly through what other characters say about her. At the beginning of the story, Maggie has been described as the youngest of three children. Okay, he has described Maggie according to what the other character of the play of the short story is, saying about her. First of all, at the beginning, she has been described as the youngest of the three children whose mother had died of intoxication. She had injured her spine 2 years ago due to a fall from window. So, like that, we can see that the description given by the different characters in the story, that description is somewhere given about the main character, the major character, which is of Maggie. So, first of all, she was described as the youngest one, and then after whose wrote mother that she had died of intoxication, and then after injured her spinal how 2 years due to a fall from window, and since she had been bedridden girl since that time. Clear? After her mother's death, her two elder siblings John and Kate. After her mother's death, her two elder sister and brother John and Kate. So John and Kate, they were siblings. Okay, John and Kate were taken by a John were taken by Farmer Joe, and Kate were taken by Mrs. Ellis, respectively. But nobody in the village was ready to take Maggie. Why? Because of her disability. As she was disabled girl, so due to that, nobody was ready to take this girl. Okay. It seems that Maggie was an innocent looking girl. First quality of the Maggie's character, you can see that she's a girl, who has innocent eyes. The girl who has innocent eyes. Okay. And then she was innocent looking girl who attracted everybody's attention. She always have the face which looks like a pure and a beautiful, a lovely face which attract anybody's mind. Okay. Hmm. The sad eyes and patient face of little girl one touches many hearts and even knocked at them off for entrance. So these lines were given in the story. If you will read, you will find that this line is somewhere giving about the quality of the Maggie. You can write in this characterization that the sad eyes of the girl, the little patient face of the little girl who touches many hearts and even knock at them for their interest. Okay. Now Maggie touched many hearts and disturbed them with thought of her well-being. That is why many women and neighborhood brought discarded garments. Due to this reason, as she was innocent types of girl, a good looking girl's eyes were very innocent. she can easily touch the heart of many people. And so the same she did of the she was somewhere, able to take the mind and the heart of the people. So that is why they have brought what some garments and all for Maggie. And yes, they were very considerable thing. That was also very considerable that they was, they had decided to send to Maggie to send where to the poor house. Okay. It is a pity that no one of them adopted her. Despite all the action going around her, Maggie did not utter a word. She kept silent and her eyes spoke more. When we talk about his speech, so there was, less statements we can find regarding Maggie's character. The girl who did not say more in this story. Actually, what just he wanted to say? What did she wanted to say? She only say says by her eyes. So that is why it is said that Maggie touches many hearts and disturb them with the thought of her well-being. That is why many women in the neighborhood brought discarded garments and dressed Maggie in then clean clothes. And it is pity that none of them adopted Maggie despite of all action giving around her, that Maggie did not utter a word. She kept silent and her eyes spoke more. Clear? Now the next paragraph says, Maggie, like any small child, seemed to be scared of being alone. When we more talk on Maggie, we find that like other children, as you know, children are in habit of stay with the people. They don't want to stay, they don't want to play where alone. So that is why she was also the same. It says that she, like many small children, seemed to be scared alone. It was out of fear that she requested Mr. Joe that, oh, Mr. Thompson, she cried out with these lines. Please mark this line in your book. This line is very important. Raise your hand as you are doing that. Mark your line in your book. We can find that only 38 students are joining me this time. It means all the things are you are getting from this chapter. Now, the last time I found that there was a character for 5 characters of Shylock you have to write. But when I started correcting copy, many mistakes I found. So, where we are talking about characterization, please try to take the class. Find out the lines in the text and note it down that, oh, Mr. Thompson, she cried out, catching her suspend breath. Don't leave me here all alone. Underline it. You all have done? Okay. So with these, if you're going to write character of Maggie, how the statement was given, a little, a few statement by her, you can see. Yeah. So these lines show that she was weak and helpless. And at the beginning of the story, one of the neighboring women called Maggie a bird. But Maggie proved to be quite well behaved. Bird means a person who is unmannered. But finally, we can see that she is a mannered girl. She proved it. Okay. And then after Mrs. Joe Thom, then we have where we can see her behavior at the house of Mr. Thompson. So in her conversation with Mrs. and Mr. Thompson, she gave brief but polite answers. Okay, when Mr. Thompson and Mr. Thompson asked, they talked to the girl. They found that whatever answer she replied, that these all the replies were, mannered form, polite form. So she had proved like that. So these points can be mentioned in your answer if that question can be asked. Okay, like see, in a conversation with Mrs. Thomas, she give a brief but polite replies. For example, yes, sir. He used to come. No, sir. Soft bed feels. Oh, yes, sir. So these answers you can see. So in a polite manner, she had been given. So these examples also can be. You can write in your answer. Now, the next paragraph says that Maggie was an innocent child with a pure soul. How pure soul? Now, the innocence of Maggie we had been here talked. And then after, what about a pure soul? That is why a moment of Joe Thompson held Maggie in his arm, he felt an affectionate bond. As she was pure, okay, her heart was somewhere pure, so that when he had been taken the girl into his arm, he had somewhere a pure feeling and he felt affectionate. Affection can be felt by Mr. Thompson for Maggie. She could immediately connect to her as a father figure and felt as if love had sprung back into his love life, dull life. So, as she was a pure heart, she was a pure soul, we can find that how that pure soul was given happiness to other. If a person is pure, she or he thought to give happiness to others, happiness to others. So here also we can see that when he has taken the girl into his arm, he felt a fatherly feeling and also whatever lackness that was coming from a longer time in his life, that was also looking that he's going to vanish. Now see, when he took her home and saw her carefully, he found her face attractive, suffering, and not been able to destroy her childish sweetness. Able to destroy her child. Actually, she was not in that condition. What does it mean? Suffering had not been able to destroy her childish sweetness. Suffering as she was a child. And that is also a fact that she had been suffering for a spinal cord problem from 2 years, I hope. Okay. But that as she was a child, so that thing that was the intimate thing in her mind. So that suffering could not destroy the ability of a being a child to that girl. It was there. A childish behavior, a childish pure thought was there in the girl. It could not destroy it. It was such tenderness that brought a change of heart of Mr. Mrs. Joe Thompson. Being a childless woman, she had become ill tempered, irritable, and desolate, with nobody to take care of. But Maggie's presence aroused motherly feelings to her. See, not only Mr. Joe, not only Mr. Joe Thompson, but also Jane Thompson was some very affectionate. She also affectionated by the pure heart Maggie, the childish behavior. Then also we can find in that line she told that how weak she is. She could be spend her 2 or more days here. So when she will become powerful, then we think to send the girl to the poor house. Okay. Now Joe Thompson is a major character in the story whose decision to bring Maggie home leads to all the action in the story. Okay, due to that action, only the story lets and go ahead. He used to make he used to make and repair sledges and wagons for the villagers like his occupation. He has been described a rough and strong man. As we already know that Joe Thompson's appearance was somewhere rough but a strong man. But finally, how that strong man have a great gentle heart for a child who does not have, somewhere not connected or somewhere related to that person, but he had a gentle heart. That is why he had taken the girl. See, but unlike this external appearance, he was a kind-hearted and compassionate man, and it was he who decided to take Maggie home when everybody else in the village wanted her to be sent in the poor house. He liked children and loved to spend time with them. That is why when Maggie was left alone after her mother's death, Joe consoled her by saying that she would not be able to left alone. So that is why that hurt can be seen was very pure and gentle by anybody, but his appearance was somewhere strong and rough man. We are talking about Joe Thompson. Okay. Joe Thompson was an intuitive man who was aware of women's nature in general, but his wife's feeling in particular. A man who can completely known to the feelings of women. He knew that the childless wife who had become ill-tempered and selfish over the years, okay, and would not like the idea of keeping Mag in their house. He had already known the reason that as the space was not filled of a child in their life, so maybe that irritable behavior can come of my wife. So she has aware of that. He took Mag into a small room without asking anything, and then the first floor laid down on the bed and made a comfortable, and he encountered with his wife. So these are the some character traits of Mr. Joe Thompson that we have discussed many times. You will read, you will get to know as time is going to finish. Jane Thompson, again, you can see that she was somewhere irritable as the problem going on in her life. But finally, she started loving and all. So we can write these things from in her character. There are some question answer given in your thing. Actually, from my side, course is completed. Now the class I will take in which I will take the revision of this, whatever courses are there. So one by one we will discuss the revision things as things are going to finish. So we will take only revision class. As time is over, student, we will finish here. Thank you. Have a nice day.